Okay, next up, we have Boroo. Boroo made the market take note with this Lagunas Norte acquisition in Peru last year, former Barrick asset. Announced itself to the market in a big way with that one. It also has 2 operations in Mongolia, Boroo, which the company is named after, and Ulaanbaatar. We're going to be joined by Stephen Crosby. Stephen is the Senior Executive VP for Engineering and Technical Service. He has more than 30 years experience in the industry, and he gained that at Freeport-McMoRan and Capstone Mining. He was a key person at Freeport's Morenci mine. He was there for the Metcalfe Mill upgrade project, and currently he serves as CEO at Aramex Industrial Maintenance and Engineering. He holds a seasonal consultant position also with Hatch, so much technical expertise there. And over his career, he has been very involved in advising on mergers and acquisitions and exploring internal growth opportunities. Stephen, welcome to the Global Mining Symposium. I always like to ask our guests where they're joining us from. Where are you today?
I'm in Arizona at the moment, so the warm state of Arizona. So, and thank you very much.
Beautiful. Warm and beautiful. One of my favorite parts of America. It's such a great state.
Absolutely.
Excellent.
Absolutely.
So, Stephen, I will pass it over to you. Without further ado, you can get us up to speed on what is going on with Boroo. It's such an interesting story.
Absolutely. Thank you very much for having me. I'm going to share my screen. Let me grab it here. Can everybody see my screen?
No, not right now, but if you have your file open that you'd like to share already on your screen.
It's on my screen.
Okay,
so
then just go to share screen. Click on the file. Yeah, click on the file you want to share. So click on it so it gets highlighted, and then just click the share button again. And if not, I can always do it for you.
You know what? Why don't you do it for me? I've got a new computer, and it's not coming up for some reason.
No worries.
Lo siento mucho. So.
I wish I could say it as nicely as you, but I will just leave that to you. But I will definitely share your screen right now, and you can just let me know when to go to the next slide.
Okay, certainly. So once again, thank you very much for allowing us to come and present a story to you. It is an interesting story. I've been associated with the company since 2017. We have operations in Mongolia, as you talked about. We have the Lagunas Norte project in Peru. Very exciting project for us. Just a little bit about our company, because a lot of people don't know us. We're highly focused on investing in non-core assets of some of the larger major players that obviously at the right price. We have a really good team that know how to turn around operations. We're really focused on operating costs and doing projects on time, under budget. We're very good at that, and as we'll talk about here in a little bit, we're going to triple our current production in the next 2 years at a sustaining cost below $700 an ounce. We have a really good management team. We have a style that aligns with our corporate strategy, and we're poised to make the next acquisition, and as that opportunity presents itself. So next slide, please. Laura, are you there?
I am. Can you see it or no? We're on the forward-looking statement.
Okay, perfect. So let's go past the forward-looking statement. And I was talking about the slide number 3. My apologies. We talked about that, what we're focused on. Let's go to slide number 4. So there's 2 projects I want to talk about today. They're the CMOP project, the carbonaceous material optimization project, and the PMR project. We'll just briefly touch on that. That's a project that we're in the development stages on right now. The CMOP project, however, we're in the construction phases of that project and finishing engineering. Next slide, please. So the CMOP project, we call it El Puente because it literally is the bridge to our future. It's a project that we inherited from Barrick. It's 15 million or 16 million tons of stockpiled ore that wasn't processed because of the high carbonaceous content of the ore. It has about 750,000 ounces of recoverable gold. We've got a flow sheet to treat that. We're in the detailed engineering on it. This is a fast track project, and so we've already broke ground, and I've got some pictures of that. We're replacing concrete, as we speak today. So it's a very exciting project for us, and it's a key project for our growth. We had to do a lot of work when we took over Lagunas Norte. We started this project immediately because it was such a good project. We immediately started the update of our feasibility. We hired Golder and Associates and WSP to do that project so WSP people out of Quebec to help us with this project. They have done an excellent job on the engineering. It's not perfect, but we've done very well at advancing the project. They updated the feasibility based on the test work that we had to reconfirm the test work, and based on that test work, we updated the feasibility. And you see the numbers over on the right. It's a very, very good project for us. Has a 1.5 year payback and a capital cost of $142 million. We were at 65% basic or detailed engineering on that project now, and we're probably at about 6 to 10% construction. So we're probably at about 25% overall on the project today. We'll talk a little bit more about how we were able to reduce the cost on this project. It was really an interesting story, and there is a really big backstory to this slide. We were able to, once we took over the project, once we took over Lagunas Norte, we were able to go out and procure the former Marlin mine that was in the equipment from the Marlin mine that was in Guatemala. That equipment fit our flow sheet perfectly. It allowed us to de-risk some of the risk associated with global supply chain. And also it was very, very good equipment. It was very, very well maintained by Goldcorp. And like I say, it fit our flow sheet perfectly. It's also a key to our future project, the PMR project, because we'll use the same plant to be able to process the ore from that project. And it reduces significantly the capital cost associated with that. There's a story on here that we're not talking about in this slide. We have a philosophy of doing projects. We call it safe by design. People have heard that. It's a stage gate process that we use that integrates safety within the design from the construction phases through the operation phases through the maintenance phases. We're very, very disciplined to the process. Like I say, it's not perfect. It's a process that everybody's having to learn. But we think that we're going to see great results out of that once we go into operations. I have a lot of experience, obviously operating plants and designing plants. And I have a construction team that has a very, very good, very, very deep experience in Peru building projects. And so you couple those together, and we're looking forward to having a very, very safe project. Next slide, please. So here's the timeline that we're on right now. As you know, one of the critical things and some of the milestones that we achieved early on in the project and months ahead of schedule was we updated the feasibility study, and also we got our ITM permit, which is very, very critical to constructing and operating in Peru. So that allowed us to start our early works last year. We have completed the early works, and like I say, we're in construction now. We're starting to place all of the concrete for the mats, the ball mill and the scrubber mats. Basic engineering was completed. Detailed engineering, we're at about 65% on that. We look to be completing that by the end of August. And we're still very, very optimistic about being able to pour first gold at the end of the fourth quarter. Or at least we will be significantly completed mechanical completion on the project. Next slide, please. So here's just some pictures. Here's the equipment that we bought from Guatemala as we're unloading it at the port at Salaverry in Peru. Most of this equipment had already been taken down and was sitting in a yard in Guatemala City. And so we were able to get that to the port very quickly there and start shipping it. I'm going to say about 50% of the equipment is either at site or on the water today, and so we're moving very, very fast, you know, and we've really minimized our risk to the global supply chain issues that are going on right now by buying this equipment. Next slide, please. So here's the site. You know, this picture is from May 20th. Since that time, if you look at the picture up in the upper left-hand corner, since that time we have placed all of the rebar, and we have the formwork on that first area there. You know, and that's our grinding area. We're getting ready to place lean concrete in the other area, that'll be our scrubber. The picture on the right is the area where we will build our filter plant. This is a dry stack tailings plant, and so our facility, and so that's where we're gonna. And we are finished with that excavation as of today. The lower left-hand corner is just our batch plant. We have two batch plants at site for our concrete. We have some massive pours in these foundations that we have coming up, and so we have two batch plants on site to take care of that. The other area is our CIL area. We're placing concrete for that right now. Next slide, please. This is a project that we'll be working on. We're already in pre-feasibility with Hatch on this project. Hatch started this project several years ago, I think back in 2009. They actually had a feasibility study, and we're getting ready to go into, Barrick was getting ready to go into basic engineering on a POX schedule, or a POX circuit. And you know, one of the difficult things about Lagunas Norte is it's at above 4,000 meters. Building an autoclave of 4,000 meters, there's not a lot of people who have that experience. We've kind of changed direction on that. What we're looking at now is floating a concentrate and selling concentrate. So we're in the process right now of doing all of the test work associated with that work. We're, like I say, we're in the pre-feasibility stages with Hatch on that, and we look to be finished with a pre-feasibility by the end of the year. We've done a lot of flotation test work already with FL Smith. Everything is looking pretty good with that. There's more test work that we're going to do, and so we're very excited about this project. We look at this project probably being out about 3 years, but it's going to add significant amount of production to our balance sheet. We're looking at an average annual gold production of around 200,000 ounces. So it's a very exciting project for us as well. Next slide, please. So that wrapped it up, and I think I got you back on time. And so you know, Boroo's a new company. We're very excited about what we're doing. We've got a very ambitious and enthusiastic management team. We're very close to the work. That's been our MO since we started as a company in 2017. Obviously, that will change as we start to grow. But fortunately, right now we're the size of company where, you know, the CEO actually knows people in the field. People know him. He's visible in the field, and you know, the same thing with all of our management team. So coming from a large company like Freeport, it's very encouraging and very refreshing to see that.
Yeah, well, I think too, you know, getting your technical expertise on the team speaks a lot to the potential that you saw. And it is we should tell our viewers, the management team before, I think you came along, especially it's a privately held Singapore-based company. So I want to talk about the IPO. Imagine that's coming at some point. But these are like pretty savvy commodity traders, right? That kind of saw that market opportunity and kind of got it rolling. So were you kind of the first real technical person with operational expertise that came onto the team?
Absolutely. So I first met these guys. I was doing a feasibility study in Mongolia for the Erdnet mine, and I first met these guys. I worked as their owner's engineer on that particular project, and I met these guys. And so I'm going to call them the longest employee they have. Right. You know, so I've been known them since about 2018.
Right. Well, in Boroo, you guys, they kind of quickly found some operational efficiencies there, and then obviously, like I said off the top, pretty bold move going on for Lagunas Norte. It's great to see the progress that you're making. You know, the question that I think would come to most investors' mind, including myself, are you funding what you've been able to accomplish as a private company is pretty impressive. So how's it all currently being funded, and what does the IPO look like?
So the CMOP project we're funding that with our cash flow from our other operations. We've been able to move that project along. Obviously, we're always looking for funding. That would be good, but it's not something that we necessarily have to have. It's something that, but we're always looking for funding. We've got guys that are working on that all the time, but we've been able to fund that with our cash flow. And should be able to do so through the end of the project. As far as the IPO goes, we are looking at doing something at the end of the year. So I'm very excited about that. It's great to be a part of a company where you get to be at the ground floor and help it grow. It's a challenge to be, having been in the industry for over 30 years and doing a lot of different things. I've never had to do this before. So it's pretty exciting for me.
Great. Are you able to open the Komodo a little bit for us? I mean, are you considering, given you're Singapore based, could be an ASX listing, could be a London listing, could be a Toronto listing. What exchange are you guys looking at?
So I think we're looking at TSX. I think we're looking at that right now. I don't know all of the other areas that we're looking at, but I know we're focused on the TSX.
Excellent. I mean, the CMOP seems like a pretty great place to start with the tailings there, but what kind of risks are associated with it? Where can things kind of take you sideways?
So I talked a little bit about the elevation. 4,300 meters plus is always a risk, and then it rains every day. We've had almost a meter of rain this year, and this is the dry season that we're in. And so when you start placing concrete, putting rebar, placing concrete in without a cover over the top of it, it gets real challenging with the lightning. So, and then just, getting equipment to site, it's a heck of a road that goes from Trujillo up to Lagunas Norte. And so that's always a challenge. But the biggest challenge is mitigating weather risk, believe it or not.
Okay.
And obviously we have the global supply chain, those type of things but we've done a lot of creative things to mitigate against critical risk there.
Excellent. Listen, Stephen, really glad you're able to find the time to join us. Really interesting story here, and one we're going to continue to follow going forward. So we wish you all the success.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Stephen.
Good luck.
Excellent.